With the release of Takumi of the Tides, I wanted to compare the in-game skin versus the concept art and see which one looks better or worse. Let's find out. Anyways, if we go to the shop, you will find a bundle right here, the River Guard bundle, along with the Takumi of the Tides for 1500 V-Bucks. So before we bring in the concept, I want to analyze the skin really quick, y'all. If you guys are not aware, I made a full review on the whole bundle, showcasing the gameplay, all that, my thoughts on the skin, some juicy combos, so feel free to check that out after this video if y'all want. But let's go over a quick summary of the skin, y'all. Quick 360. I think the skin looks pretty freaking awesome. I think it's so funny. It's like a little freaking fish stick. It's literally the fish stick skin, but samurai kind of. This is literally the head of the fish, right? And this is the tail. But I love how they made the design, man. It looks like it's his ponytail, like his hair. I think that's pretty funny, yeah. But to be honest, I guess he's a fish man, right? You know what I mean? If y'all don't know what that is, pretty much, you see them sometimes in One Piece. A lot of lore behind that as well. But yeah, pretty much a hybrid between a fish and a man. More fish though because of the face. Also, even with the tail, looks freaking awesome, man. You can tell it's like a samurai kind of vibe. Loving the attire, loving the texture on the attire, the samurai drip. What is this, a kimono? I don't know. I'm gonna call it kimono, samurai kimono. I don't know, man, but it looks pretty freaking awesome. I love the double blades on the side of his hip. Reminds me of Zoro from One Piece, except Zoro got 3. Shout out to the legend himself. Got a little koi fish spinning around on his belt buckle. Overall, very clean design. At first I thought these were shoes, but I think they're actually just his feet, similar to like fish stick. Would have been nice having a style with the sandals on, you know, a little chancleta action, nothing wrong with that. Along with that, he does have the Ocean's Edge pickaxe. These are pretty freaking awesome, yeah. Wish there was an edit style with just a single pickaxe, but enough yapping. Overall, I think the skin looks freaking awesome, man. So let me bring in the concept right now, y'all. Let me bring it in. Boom! There it is, y'all. Good God. It looks beautiful. Okay, so first off, I don't know why. There we go. I was like, why did it change? Okay, now that we have it up, we can actually analyze the skin. So first up, before we get it popping, this image right here, the concept art, the survey art, this was upscaled to 4K by AI. It was made by the artist, but obviously it was a small image, so with AI you could you know what I mean, it was upscaled to 4K, so you could definitely see more details and all that. So if you see some weird lines, if I zoom in a lot, it might look a little blurrier, etc. That's probably why. Like even here, obviously it's not going to be perfect, but the majority of the skin is right there, and that's what matters. And yeah, I think it looks really good, man, overall. Anyways, first off, let's address the elephant in the room, man. I mean, right off the back, first impression, it looks damn near the same. Alright, I see a couple differences, but I want to just say right at the back, it's like already 92-93% accurate from what I'm seeing. But anyways, in this video, we're gonna just analyze both and see if there's any differences. And you know what I mean, even if there might be small differences, it's just a, you know what I mean, it's a fun video to kind of just appreciate both the concept and the in-game variants. So let's jump into it, man. First thing I want to address though, I think this is pretty interesting. So even though it looks the same, right, you look at the actual kimono, like the little this little dress part right here, it seems that this is a dark, it's like a royal blue, but it has more darkness on it. This is just like a brighter, just a royal blue. And in my opinion, it looks a lot more aggressive and a lot more, I don't know, a lot more, what's the word, regal? I don't know, but professional, assassin, I don't know. It looks awesome. Like I said, don't get it twisted. This one looks amazing. I'm just calling out some differences. But yeah, you definitely see there's like a darker blue. Like look at this and then look at this. You know what I mean? It's definitely apparent. Honestly, I prefer the darker blue, man. It definitely brings it more of a serious vibe. This is nice though, but it's a little bit more louder. And the reason I like this being darker is because it gives more attention to the other details, like the armor plate, the shoulder plate, along with the face, you know, because it's like a contrast. It's like a little bit of blue with some silver, white. It almost looks like opal a little bit. And this one, it kind of gets attention from both sides. Like you look at the armor and then you look at the dress, you know what I mean? It doesn't clash. Like I said, I'm just calling something out. The color scheme, like the color is definitely darker on the blue, which is pretty interesting. But let's analyze the face, which is the most important part in my opinion. I got the whiskers, pretty much accurate. The pattern here, interestingly enough, it's actually the opposite way. Like this pattern is on his right side, the way we're looking at it. This is on its left side. You see the blue little paint? Pretty interesting. Also, one thing that is kind of annoying to me, but I can kind of see it, is that in the concept, the eyes are like, it's a bit more faded. It almost makes it feel like he's blind a little bit, right? Like it's the color's the same pretty much, right? You do see this little eye right here with the little highlights. It looks more like a kind of like a glassy effect. Here, you actually see the eye, the details. It's not bad, but this definitely gives it more of like a insect kind of robotic vibe, as opposed to this, which gives it more of a live vibe. And it looking kind of creepy peepy. Why are you looking at me like that? But jokes aside though, it's still good in the in-game, but I do prefer it in the concept. The eye definitely looks way cooler, like more having this frosted effect. Don't really see this eye as detailed. It looks more faded in. But check it out, man. If you really focus on the left side, it actually looks more realistic. You guys see that, right? So here it's a bit more faded. Here it's a bit more realistic. So we look at the left side as well. And if I angle it right, like maybe like that, you can kind of see that maybe they were going for this, you know? Or maybe he's just blind on his, you know what I mean? On the right side, and you can see on the left side. Either way, I do like this more. But it'd be nice to have that. But yeah, I always want to make it clear, man. Anytime I call out any differences, I'm not saying the skin is ruined. You guys know, man. When I think a skin is ruined, I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? But yeah, because I don't want to diminish everybody's like, oh man, maybe the skin does suck. No, the skin is still awesome. I'm just checking the differences and appreciating both. As you can see, for the hair as well, honestly, pretty much the same, to be honest. Pretty much same pattern. I see a little bit of AI action going on here, so it's not going to be exactly accurate. The colors pretty much seem the same, except on the skin. Like I said, you're going to notice a lot of this when you look at the concept. You see the edges? It's like black, and then it fades into a dark blue, and then into a blue. You see that? Here, it's just one color of blue, which is kind of similar to the shirt here as well. So I do prefer this as well. And the reason I'm saying that is because when we have different colors kind of complementing each other, like this black into dark blue into regular blue, it definitely accentuates the parts that really matter, which is like the more brighter parts. And I think it's awesome. Here it's just like one color. Aside from that, this pattern right here kind of fades in like blue. Not blue, like a little bit of pinkish brown into like a kind of silver white. Pretty much what you're seeing here as well. Not bad. Aside from that, you do see the scales on the skin itself. Here you don't see any scales at all. It's just smooth. It can also be just they decided to change their mind, or they didn't want to draw it in. But to be honest, you could also argue that if they didn't want to draw in the scales, then why did they draw it on this armor? I think that's a great segue to the next portion. Let's compare the armors themselves. As you can see, it's pretty clear that they wanted to go and add some kind of scales, fish scales on the shoulder pad on the armor, which is pretty nice. Obviously, it's not going to be accurate, but you notice here it has like blue, like all of it scales, but every once in a while you see a little bit of blue, a little bit of blue, a little bit of a lighter blue here as well. There's these little like yellow gold strings attached to it. You don't see it here popping out. It's mostly hidden underneath. Like all that stuff is underneath. Honestly, this doesn't ruin it. It still looks good, but honestly, I wouldn't have minded if they kept it like this, where it was just without any knots or whatever. But just some thoughts. Aside from that, let's look at some of the patterns on the kimono. You notice on the right side, he has a different pattern as opposed to here. This is more of like a branch, but if you look to his left side, that's the same one. So that, yeah, in some cases they did make the design, you know what I mean, kind of flipped, like added it to the other side, a little bit of opposite day action going on. Just something to think about. He still has the little like turtleneck action going on. We scroll down to the chest plate. Chest plate is so freaking awesome, and I actually like this a lot. Has like this reflective kind of vibe, almost rainbowish, you know what I mean, white opal kind of vibe. They're pretty much the same. Here you could tell that this is the strap right here with the buckle, and it's connecting, except it's black here. And then here wrapping around, same here. This is black. This is just kind of silver white. This is pretty much whatever. As for these squiggly lines, it actually has a design like in a different color. It's more of a blackish, a black with a little bit of blue tinge. Here it's just blue. Actually, it's a, am I tripping? I think this is a, yeah, this is a darker blue. So this is what I'm talking about. Wow, I just noticed that. Let me know if you guys noticed as well. Look at this line. It's definitely a darker blue. And then compared to this, the difference is insane. Now, if you look at this line and compare it to the concept, these are pretty much the same color. Imagine this color on the whole skin, bruh. And every once in a while, you'll see this blue as like a highlight. That the skin would, in my opinion, the skin would definitely look a little bit more insane, more assassin-like with a darker blue, more royal. I don't know, but just some thoughts. Very interesting. I never know. You know what I mean? I think it's crazy. I just caught that. Anyways, the outer edges of the shoulder pad, these are just kind of gray, a little bit of grayish silver. Here, it's the same kind of pattern, color, white opal on the outer edges. So that's interesting as well. It's gray here. Here it's white. You know what I mean? Reflective. Interesting. The moon crescent's pretty much the same. You could tell they were trying to fade it in, right? Like blue, lighter, and then lighter blue. Here it's just faded in as a gradient, which is nice. But yeah, the armor piece is pretty awesome. We go to the left side. He has the same armor piece as well, but you only see the back of it. You see the strings. Not too bad. More strings here as well. We scroll down to his waist. You do see a similar design. Wait, I'm tripping. I can't believe I never noticed that. It took me looking at the concept to notice. I was like, wait, is this a frog? I thought these were all koi fish. It's a koi fish, and this is actually a frog. Even in the review, I didn't notice that. I was so busy with these koi fish that I just assumed, I guess my brain assumed it was, my brain meats assumed that it was just, you know, another koi fish. That is very interesting revelation. My goodness. Anyways, pretty awesome, man. Yeah, the gold, it's like a, would you say it's gold? It's like a white gold. It's like a very kind of faded gold. Gold yellow. As for the katanas, you do see the same katanas on the left side of his hip. Pretty much the same with the pattern on the handle, except in the concept is just a flat little gold top. Here, it has a pattern effect. To be honest, I think both are great. No complaints from me. In some cases, this might even be better, to be honest. It's more stylized. Same with the handle on the katana in the in-game variant. It's like a very interesting diamond design, hexagonal. I don't know. It's like one, no, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a star, a weird star. Here it's just a regular handle. So it's definitely more stylized in-game, which is very interesting. Both are awesome. You scroll down. You do see this chain right here connecting to his hip. It seems a bit thicker on the concept here. It's a bit more skinnier. And this concept, there's a little, in the concept, it has there's a little chain. Same with here, except here it looks like an eye, nose, crown, face. It's like an alien. Here, it looks creepy peepy. This looks like an upside down face. The eye, you know what I mean? He's kind of frowning a little bit, kind of sad. This is the face, the chin, and then this is his head, his helmet piece. You know what I mean? Hung upside down. Let me know if you guys see that. It probably isn't that, but my mind going crazy. I see it, and that's all that matters looking at him. Anyways, aside from that, we do have the armor on his hand as well. Very interesting. And damn, this kind of sucks in my opinion for the in-game variant. And the concept, it's more of a bluish whitish kind of vibe. In the in-game variant, it's more like a muted blue with a tinge of gray, I would say. If you guys really notice, this is definitely a bit more brighter. If you guys see that, let me know if y'all do. Along with the belt as well on his face, on his waist, it has the same colorway as the one on his arm, but in the concept, it's more brighter. It's like a brighter blue. They're both kind of like faded, right? But like it's more of a whiter. It's like a blue with a little bit of white in it. This is more of a blue with a tinge of like gray, or a tinge, a very small tinge, 1%, less than 1% tinge of black, and a little bit of white. You know, hopefully that makes sense. There's a little string wrapped around, kind of the same though. A little bit of whiter blue, more like a grayish blue. Pretty similar though in that case. And also in the belt, it has these squiggly lines. In the concept, you don't see the squiggly lines. Maybe one right here. That could be the shadow though, but it might be the squigglage action going on. So that's what, actually, I do prefer this one in the concept. I like being more uniform. This one does still match though. Like I said, it's part of the blue like selection, but it definitely stands out a little bit more. And as also the little nuts and bolts, the little studs, these are more gold. There's more like the traditional kind of yellow, faded yellow gold, which is pretty interesting. We scroll down more on the dress as well. As you can see, like I said before, it has more of a darker blue, which I really like, man. I think it looks freaking awesome. The designs, you know, I mean, they're kind of similar in some cases. Like you have this little leaf right there, a leaf right there, another leaf right there, leaf right there. But it's not exact, you know. Also, oh my gosh, I just noticed something, and I feel like this would have made the skin even better. It's the same thing with Haruka of the Mask. If you have not seen my concept video over there, make sure to check it out. I actually mentioned it over here. You notice there's a line here, a little seam line on the dress, and you notice it goes down here, and it kind of splits open, right? And then there's this one right here. So what I'm trying to say is it definitely has more of a flowy kind of vibe, which I really like. And the concept is just flat, straight up just flat. Yes, it still has a slit here, which is awesome, but in the concept it goes here, right? And the little seam keeps going a little further to kind of give it that 3D effect, you know, more of a flowy vibe, similar to the tail. That's what we have in the concept. We don't have it in here, which is kind of a shame, because I really do like this. Almost gives it like an octopus vibe. But like I said, these are just kind of some changes that I'm noticing. Like I said, it doesn't ruin the skin, but it definitely would have been 100% peak if they kept it like this. Anyways, as for the hand is pretty much the same. Glove color, kind of similar. As for the hands, his hands are a bit more whitish, light blue. And the concept, it's more of a faded blue, kind of similar to his armor piece on his hand. Pretty interesting. The skin tone of the hand in the concept reminds you of the Zoro's. What is it? The Zoran? Zoro? I don't know. I think it's the Zoran from Legend of Zelda. A little kind of fish species. I remember playing Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, and I love playing as the Zoran, man. The Zoros. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot. So it's been so long. Phenomenal game, man. If y'all have not checked it out, definitely do. Okay. Anyways. Aside from that, the dress on the kimono as well, the little, like, you know, I mean, the little black dress right here. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe I will make a separate video talking about this. So you notice in the concept, it has like, it's like the dress, right? It goes down, boom, you know what I mean? Up, down, boom. It gives it this flowy effect, which I really like. They actually made it the same in the in-game variants. Look at this. It goes down, boom, down, boom. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but do you know how I shake the skin? It has this very flowy effect. I love when they do this. Haruka of the Mask does not have that, which is that's the one thing I was disappointed on. I was like, damn, man. Maybe I'll make a video talking about it. But you guys can see in the concept what I'm talking about, because in hers it was just like down and then flat like this, right? No like little edges, so when I moved it, it wouldn't flow. So they do kind of understand what we're talking about. This flowing right here, I wish they would have added it here as well. It does flow when I move it around, right? But you get what I mean, like the little extra dimensions on the pants would have been awesome on the little dress right here. You got the shoes, pretty much. I mean, is there really a difference? It's pretty much the same, yeah. The lighting might seem like they're different a little bit, but you notice the shoes here. You know, in the concept, you could say they're a bit more whiter, a bit more white blue. This is more like a white blue, but with a little bit of reflective, like light, similar to like the armor. So I guess in that case, they might be slightly different, but honestly, they're pretty much the same in my book. But yeah, you do see the reflectiveness here. Like, you could even think like there's a little bit of green. Like, you see the armor, right? Depending on how I move it around, like you see a tinge of green on the white. Very interesting. But I mean, aside from that, man, there it is. Let me know if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Oh, actually, one last thing I wanted to mention was the line. You see this little line right here? It's a lot skinnier. Even on the outer edges, this is a lot more thicker, which in my opinion isn't bad, but it looks a little bit more gaudy. Which, if you don't know what that means, pretty much it could, in some cases, it could be meant in a negative way. Like, it's a little bit more show-offy, a little bit more tacky, but it's not bad, okay? But yeah, that definitely would have looked a little bit better, skinnier, at least here, right? Like, I don't really care about here. It could be thick here if I, you know what I mean? It's a little skinnier here, but definitely on the edges of the cuffs, it would have been nicer if it was skinnier. But I mean, overall, the skin is pretty awesome. And I forgot to mention in the intro, but I really do wish they would give us these standing animations, like the ones that they have in the concept. They don't gotta be moving all the time. Like, if they just have them standing like this, like in the concept, same thing as an in-game, that would have been amazing. He just has like a default pose, you know. Hopefully they'll add something in the future. But like I said, the skin is pretty much 90% the same. I want to say like maybe 92, 93% the same, which in my opinion is a success. Awesome skin. But some changes that I would have loved that are pretty crucial in my opinion would be to make the dress darker blue. That would have been amazing. Same with the gloves and the little belt in the middle. I gotta give them props for props is due, man. The pants being flowy like this is freaking amazing, man. That's the one thing I wish that Haruka of the Mask had, bro. Maybe I'll make a video talking about it. That's one thing that I would have loved if they would have added that. Look how flowy it is, man. Even the shadow. You guys look at the shadow, right? Look at the shadow. Look how I move it. Looks amazing. But very solid skin for the price. I gotta clap it up, man. I give this 3 booms. Look at it. I seen that one meme with the chicken bake. Also, last thing I want to say is the armor plate looks a bit bigger here. It's a bit smaller here. Honestly, it is what it is. Maybe it helps with aiming. You know what I mean? Less distraction from the aiming. Honestly, I appreciate that. But they could have also made this one smaller, right? And then this one a little bit bigger. But that's very minute detail. Last thing I wanted to mention, which I just noticed, the chest plate is kind of curved down. This is curved upwards slightly. Which makes it seem like it's bigger. It could also mean he has a bigger chest. He kind of seems a bit slimmer in the in-game variant. He seems like slightly a bit buffer on the chest and on the waist. But yeah, I think both are awesome. It's just the pose, y'all, that really, this guy looks like a level 1 mafia member. This is a level 100 boss with the pose, you know. Regardless, phenomenal skin, man. I think they cooked. I gotta give them props. And what do you guys think, man? I think these skins are awesome. If you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comments below if y'all want to keep doing these. I think they're pretty fun, man. And if you want to support for free, please consider using my code KROW-LX. I'm going, bro. Catch your boy live on Twitch. And if you want to go further beyond, become a Patreon member. Anyways, it's your boy KROW. Holla at your boy. Yeah!